Hey, good afternoon. Can everyone hear me out there? If you just want to give a thumbs up, we'll go ahead and get started. Excellent. Thank you for being here this afternoon. This is Spokane Community College information session for hydraulics and pneumatics. Today we are here with instructor George Colladell, and he's going to share with us some information about the program, career outlooks, and we have some students who are joining us today to share their experience. So, George, if you want to introduce yourself and just talk a little bit about the program, we'll start there.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Lori. Like Larry was saying, my name is George Colladell. I'm an instructor in the Hydraulic Pneumatic Automation Technology program, and I teach alongside John Norman. John Norman has been here teaching at the school for about 21 or 22 years. I joined in 2014. I'm also a graduate of this program. I graduated in 2000, and I've had a long 20-year career in the fluid power industry and came back here in 2014 to teach, and I've enjoyed it very much. I love getting to meet new students and getting to watch them go off and begin their careers in our industry. Our program here has been here for about 30 years. And it was created by a gentleman by the name of Dean Croskrey, who was the founder of the program. And there was a big need in the Northwest for fluid power, and there was no programs out here to teach students the skills that they would need to work in that industry. And so when the program was created, we had a lot of interest, and we have been able to effectively get all of our students employment since the program began. So, and that's a tradition that we carry on today, even in times with this pandemic and the economy kind of being a little bit more unstable. We have always been able to find jobs and help our students find employment in this industry. So, kind of a little bit about what hydraulics and pneumatics is in hydraulics, we use oil, and in pneumatics, we use air. And we use these two entities, which we call fluid, and we have this name fluid power. And what we do is we use oil and air to create mechanical motion, spinning motion, and rotating motion. And we do this in all types of manufacturing, in the food supply chain. So all of us are familiar with what's going on with COVID-19. Well, most of our food is processed using fluid power. And so we're still able to see food on the shelf in times like this because we have machines that are actually filling these cans, washing and separating fruit. And so we're still able to get food to the dinner table, even in this time by using fluid power. We're also involved in manufacturing of every sort. When the cars are assembled at a auto manufacturing plant, that's all done with fluid power. The bread that we eat produced by fluid power, and aircraft, the flaps on aircraft done with hydraulics. The landing gear on aircraft is hydraulics. All the construction equipment you see on the side of the road is hydraulics, and so it's prevalent everywhere. And a lot of times, some of our most exciting things that we do are done behind closed doors. So as just an average citizen walking around, you don't even know we exist. And so that's why today I think this is a great opportunity to talk to prospective students, people who are saying, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? I was a student here once too, and I knew I wanted to go to college. I knew I wanted to get an education in something that was going to be rewarding for me personally, and also where there was going to be a lot of employment, where I would be secure in what I was doing. And like I had said earlier, over the last 30 plus years, this industry has done nothing but grow. Some industries you hear about, they start to decline and there's less employment. Our industry, it's the opposite. We grow, and we're at the leading edge of technology. So when technology changes and improves things, we're right on that edge to it. And so our industry is desperate to be able to find people. I'll give you a good for instance. We had about 9 or 10 people graduate in June. We have received over 20 phone calls from prospective employers just since the end of the school year. And we have to tell them all of our students have jobs. We don't have any students for you. So, and there's not a doubt in my mind or in Mr. John Norman's that if we had twice as many students, we would still be able to find employment. The demand for jobs is always greater than the supply of students. And so this industry is a great place to get a professional career job with a 2-year degree. To give you an idea, we can place between 40 and 60% of our students within the local Spokane area, with the balance of that finding jobs in Seattle, Portland, Boise, and the Tri-Cities. So it's possible to come here, get an education in a good, thriving industry, even in times like this, and still be able to stay in the Pacific Northwest. But another bonus to it is kind of what I did. I was originally from back east, and I graduated the program in 2000, and I moved to Sarasota, Florida. I wanted to live by the beach. I wanted to enjoy everything that Florida has to offer, and I was able to do that. When it was time for me to come back to the Northwest, because of my education and my degree and my experience, I was able to find a good job in Spokane and turn back up here. I'm not a rare case. This is common with all of our students. And you know, we will tell our students, if you can't find that dream job you want in Spokane, go to Seattle, go to Portland, go to the Tri-Cities, go to Boise, and you'll be able to work your way back to Spokane, and you'll have a good paying job doing it. What the classes are like, we start our mornings at 7:30. A typical class will run from 7:30 to 2:30, Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday, we'll focus on the academics, and we'll go out and we'll do things in the lab. We'll take components apart. We'll run automated equipment. We'll talk about what's happening. And then on Fridays, we usually relegate that for testing and then for catch-up work, that sort of thing. And we say it's 7:30 to 2:30, but sometimes we get out a little bit early. Sometimes we might stay a little bit late. But we'll always work with our students on what their lives are like. We understand that you have things going on outside of school, and that's important to you. And we work with you as much as we can. Another thing that we like to do is we take a big interest in your success. If you're going to be a student, we're going to work with you for 2 years. We're going to help you through the program. And we want to make sure you get the outcome that you want. And we take that to heart, and we work with you alongside you to help you find that job. We go out, we seek employers to come to the school. So it's not uncommon for a student in our program to find a job without ever even leaving the classroom. We'll have employers come up here from Eugene, Oregon, from Chicago, Illinois. We've had employers come from all around the country to hire our students. And so our industry is very serious about finding employees, and there are so few programs that teach this education, and it's in such in demand that it's not uncommon to get people to travel here from all around the country. Now, when you hit your second year in the program, it's more hands-on, and so you might spend 7:30 to 12:30 here, and then we have some additional classes that are required for you to actually receive a degree. And your degree here is what's called an Associate in Applied Science in Hydraulic Pneumatic Automation Technology. We are well known on the West Coast. Like I said earlier, we're the only school on the West Coast. And so we are well known on the western third of the United States. But even for someone like myself, when I travel back east, all the fluid power companies and hydraulic companies and pneumatic companies I worked with on the East Coast, they were all well aware of SDC. They knew the reputation of SDC, and that SDC students know what they're doing, and they're good employees to hire. We like to make sure that not only do our students know the technical aspects of the job, but we also try to work with students on soft skills, preparing you for interviews. We have members from the industry come in to do mock interviews with our students. And sometimes what turns out to be what a student thinks is a mock interview ends up becoming a real job interview, because that person from industry says, wow, I like this student so much. What do I have to do to hire him? Right? We tell them, hey, we got to let the student finish their degree. We have no requirements, math requirements, or any type of minimum requirements to get into our program. I've had students who have had an 8th grade education as far as math goes, addition, subtraction, and some algebra. We work with our students. If you're weak in math, we work with you to build your skills up. We work alongside you. Your classmates will assist you. It's a very tight-knit organization, and there's study groups, and we work with the students, and the students work with each other to make sure that everybody understands what they're doing. All I need from a student is 100% effort, and there's going to be success guaranteed every time. We've never had a student graduate the program that said, wow, I spent 2 years here, I didn't get anything out of it. Now our students spend 2 years here and they go out in brand new careers. The wages are anywhere between 45 and 65,000. Kind of depends on where you're living and what you're doing. But you have to remember, those are beginning level wages, and those wages increase dramatically as the student demonstrates to their employer the skills that they have. So the sky's the limit on the wages, but we typically start out between 45 and 65,000. I have some students here that are second year students now. They were students of mine last year, and I would like to just kind of introduce them and let them talk about a few things. The first student's name is Dane Rogers. He's, like I say, all 4 of these students are moving on to their second year, so they've got 1 year here. And Dane, would you like to just please tell me a little bit about yourself and what brought you to our program? And that would be great.
Yeah, I can do that. So hold on, let me pull up my other questions. So my name's Dane Rogers. Like you said, I'm going into my second year here, and I didn't choose to do an internship. I chose to stay in Spokane this year. Just wanted to stay home just for a little bit more and get some money with my job I already have. But what made me consider going into the fluid power program was that I went to 4-year university with WSU to do a mechanical engineering degree, and it just wasn't for me. I didn't get the hands-on experience that I thought I would get, and it just didn't end up working out. Luckily, my dad, he is a teacher at SCC, and he told me about the fluid power program, and it's got a lot more hands-on stuff that I would be interested in, and something kind of unique and challenging. Never heard of fluid power at that point, so I wanted to something that would challenge me and fill that niche of having that hands-on work. So that's why I went to that. So that's basically it as far as I can tell for why I went into fluid power. Any other questions you guys got?
And how have you found the support staff and the instructors and and everyone that has worked with you so far?
What was that? Sorry.
Oh, and what has your experience been with the faculty and the staff here at SCC while you're here? Okay, Dane, what's your experience been like at SCC working with faculty and the administrative staff?
Oh, there we go. It finally went through. Thank you. Yeah, it's been really great. Everyone's been super nice. You can stay as long as you want, really, as long as the instructors are fine with it. If you have any questions, obviously. But nothing but praise, really. Having that more with our smaller class sizes, especially compared to like WSU or another 4-year university, you get a lot more personal interaction, I guess you could say, from your instructor. So it's a lot easier to get the information you want and the help you need from it, just because the class sizes are smaller and it's a lot easier for your instructor to deal with less people to give you the information that you want. So I have nothing but praise for the interactions with staff.
Thank you very much, Dane. Let's talk with Taylor Jones. Taylor, if you could just tell me a little bit about your internship that you applied for and your thoughts on the program, and how the faculty and staff here at SCC has treated you.
Okay, yeah. So I'm Taylor. I'm a second-year student in the pneumatic and hydraulic automation program at Spokane Community College. I did receive an offer for an internship this summer over at Sun Hydraulics in Florida, but it was canceled due to COVID-19. They had to cancel all their internships. Other than that, my whole experience in this program has been amazing since day one. I went in not knowing anything about fluid power whatsoever, and the amount of information that we have learned this year is insane, but it's been super fun. I've enjoyed every moment of it, and the instructors, both John and George, are amazing. They'll do anything to help you, as long as like you said, all they ask is 100% effort, and if you put that in, they'll be there and have your backs for the whole 2 years. Yeah, I heard about the program initially because actually my father, he just graduated from the program, so he is out working in industry now. He works for GCC. It's a hydraulic manufacturer here in Spokane. They're actually based out of Florida, but yeah. So, anything else I should share? Any other questions?
Unique in the sense.
I'm sorry, George, I didn't hear you. You were cutting out.
Okay. We're going to move on to Nathan and let Nathan talk a little bit. Nathan's unique in the sense that, and I'll let you discuss this, Nathan, but you've been around a little while, and this is your second internship out in industry over in the Seattle area, or on the west side of the mountains, I should say. And if you could just tell us a little bit about your internship, what you've learned in the industry, how the program's prepared you for that, and how you've been treated by faculty and the staff here at SEC would be great.
Sure thing, George. First off, can everyone hear me okay? Okay. So my name's Nathan Mackey. Going to be a second-year fluid power student. I first learned about the program as I was going through my first degree at SEC, which was industrial electricity. I went back to school because I wanted to learn a trade. Electricity seemed super interesting, and it is. And one day, George and John Norman came down the hall and told me about a summer class that they offer geared towards people in my program to teach them fluid power. I, of course, had never heard about it. Sounded interesting, and really pushed to have the classes go, and they did. And as soon as I saw what they were doing and learning about motion control and being able to control complex machinery and processes, and down to very, very specific levels of control, absolutely was hooked. It's a really cool feeling. You get problem solving. If you like math, we do a lot of applied mathematics. It's not just crunching numbers on a board. You actually can go out to the lab and prove this stuff. Make sure your calculations are right, and then actually see something happen that you're really trying to do. I'd say the program itself is definitely challenging. I wouldn't say it's hard. It would only be hard if you don't have the effort put in, but it will challenge you in a good way. You do get, I think Dane was talking about it more, we get a lot of hands-on time. The lab equipment that we have access to is pretty amazing. There are big name people in the industry that will come through our hydraulic shop and look at the custom trainers that John Norman built, and they are impressed, thoroughly impressed. It's one of the many key things about this program is access to industry relevant equipment, for sure. The other is networking, and that's also tied in with actual employers coming to you, which I certainly have never heard about a college program where you have people knocking on the door as you're trying to teach class saying, hey, can we hire some of these people? I mean, it's really amazing. Plus, just with other people, if we get hired out, like our classes, I mean, like me and Russell, we're already networking between two different companies, and we're not even through the program yet. And you can build that while you're still going to school. You don't have to wait till you're out in industry to then start meeting people. The other thing, and this is not me sucking up, but George and John are special teachers. These guys care so much about their students, personally and professionally. They both have their own unique teaching styles that are different, but they work perfectly. George is a first-year teacher, kept things so fun, and yet we were learning so much. It's exactly what you'd want out of a college experience. And then John, same thing. Now he may push you a little bit harder, but he does that because he's taking second year and really making it a dry run for your first year in industry. So you learn a lot of the academics first year with George, and then you already start putting them to work in a work-like environment with John. And that is a very deadly combination to create some impressive people in industry. As far as my internship goes, I'm currently at Buchanan Automation. We're located in Snohomish. We are a pneumatics and electro-pneumatics and some robotics. We're a distributor. So what it is we have access to fluid power manufacturers that we can sell their product for them. And then we have customers calling us. Either they know what they want, they don't know what they want, they think they know what they want. And then we do more than just grab stuff off the shelf and ship it to them. We're what's known as a solutions provider. So we have an engineering department, and some of the coolest stuff that we do here is when there's something isn't working right or a customer doesn't know what they want, is the design, the proof of concept, and then actually implementing some pretty high-tech stuff. One more thing about fluid power, as far as the manufacturing, not of fluid power stuff, but just manufacturing worldwide. Even if the product is a very simple thing, say apples or pencil erasers, the automation technology that runs that stuff is still very high-tech and advanced. The owner of the company has a line about fluid power that I basically stole, and I'm going to use it here, is that fluid power is the biggest hidden industry in the world. Modern life would not be possible without fluid power, but so few people know about it, and that's part of why we're in such high demand with employers. Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about this stuff. So did I miss anything? Oh, faculty, staff, great. Did I miss anything, George?
Thank you very much. Nope, you did a great job. Next, we have Russell. And Russell is another second year. He's going to be a second year student this year, and he is currently working out in industry as well. So, Russell, tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the fluid power, what brought you here, your experience so far, how well did we prepare you for your internship in industry, and how have you been treated and welcomed at SCC from faculty and staff?
Okay, I'll try and cover all of that. So you might be able to tell I'm a little bit older than all of my classmates. And I decided to come back to school. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but I wanted something as challenging as I could find. I didn't want to be older and retired someday and not have challenged myself in a school environment. And I also sort of was looking at the way that the world is going as far as automation goes, and saying, well, probably the people who build, design, and fix those machines are going to always be employed. It's something that can't be outsourced. You can't fix an industrial machine from a call center halfway around the world. You just can't do it. You have to be on the ground doing the work right here locally. So the application process was very easy, even for me coming back sort of unfamiliar. The first time I went to college, I think I wrote the classes I want on a piece of paper and handed it to somebody in person. And that's how I signed up. Obviously, things have changed a little bit, but the process was very easy. Everything it's sort of a pre-packaged program, so you don't really have to put a lot of thought into what am I going to take at what time. You just sort of enter the program. Everything is automated essentially once you push a few buttons, so it's really easy there. I was not really prepared for what amazing instructors I was going to get. We've all had a lot of teachers in our lifetime, but not, like as Nathan was saying, not at the level of George and John. And I think you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that could compete with those two. There's that old adage about when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and that's exactly how I feel about George, and how I expect to feel about John when pushed academically in a way that I enjoyed incredibly, and I couldn't possibly have learned as much, I think, without those two instructors. Like Nathan, I am at an internship right now, so I'm gone from home for 9 weeks. I'm over on the west side as well in Kent at a company called WIT, Western Integrated Technologies, and this is a hydraulics and pneumatics distributor, mostly hydraulics, but very, very state-of-the-art facility, and they do a lot of really important business. I've gotten the opportunity to do a couple of really neat things. I went down and did some work at a large paper mill in Tacoma to see how that all works. I mean, even looking at some machines that pick up an entire semi-truck full of wood chips and dump it out, not dumping the trailer, picking up the entire truck and dumping the whole thing and setting it back down, all using fluid power. I got to help build some small, tiny hydraulic power units that we then shipped to the Naval Undersea Warfare Department. Not sure what they're going to do with those. Not sure they'd tell us. And the people who work here are out at Blue Origin a lot, so they are helping Blue Origin manufacture things that are going to space. So there's fluid power in space, and that's a pretty big deal over here at Blue Origin right now. And I would say, just my experience here at Western Integrated, that there are graduates here from the 90s all the way up to recent in Spokane, and this company would probably not be able to function without SCC. That's how important this program is to this industry. I don't think this company could operate without the graduates from SCC, and all of the people here who make the most money went to SCC.
Thank you very much, Russell. Thank you very much. I do want to point a couple things out, and the first thing is I appreciate the comments about students caring about John and I, and recognizing the fact that John and I care about our student success. I had attended my undergrad and my graduate school, and I always thought, man, I wish the professors just would care or would help me more with this. And I sat back and I thought, of all the professors and instructors that I've had, who is the best one? And it was John Norman. And it was because he actually took a personal investment in my learning. And so we try to do that. We try to be the instructors that you want to have, that you wish you had. And that's what we want to do. Also with this industry, we're looking at diversity. This industry wants to diversify. It wants to hire females and minorities. And Taylor, would you like to speak on what your experience has been being a female in the fluid power and the hydraulic pneumatic industry?
Yeah, so as a female, it can be like a little bit intimidating walking into a room. You're like, there's one other female in my class, so it's a male predominant field, but honestly, my opportunities have been so great because, like George said, they're trying to create diversity in this field. So I almost might have more job opportunities just because I am a female. And nothing in this program is more challenging or anything based on your sex or gender. Being a female, I've had no more challenges than my fellow classmates. So it's really been a great, great thing.
Okay, thank you very much, Taylor. And I also want to press the point, too, that we are entering where we're having a lot of baby boomers, employees that are in their 50s and 60s that are starting to retire. And so that's leaving even more of a vacuum for employment. And so this is actually a very good time for young students to get into this industry because there should be rapid advancement. The pay in our industry is going up rapidly. And so this is a really good time to get into this industry. Do any of you second-year students now want to talk about financial aid and what you've done to get financial aid and how that's benefited you?
I'll say, oh, Taylor, you want to go ahead? Sorry.
No, you can go. It's okay.
I've been seen the benefits of financial aid. I'd taken a few years off, and luckily that was the look back period as far as income went. I would also say another great thing is that there are scholarships available out there from industry. I know I see Nathan nodding. He and I are both recipients of a very generous scholarship, the Washington State Opportunity Scholarship, that has contributed highly to both of our educations. And I received a Community Colleges of Spokane Foundation scholarship as well for this coming year. So there are scholarships out there. Financial aid is a very easy process as far as application goes, and to work with the folks in the financial aid office. And I would tell you, I don't know that I would have known. There's no way to know now what I knew when I started, but if I had any idea the demand, the career opportunities that there were in this field, I would not have thought twice about, taking a student loan or paying for school myself, just from working. You'd be paid back the first few months on your job, essentially, for your entire education.
Well, thank you very much, Russell. Taylor, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
I would probably say the same thing as Russell, that honestly, I did get help from financial aid and a couple of scholarships. I believe I got the Opportunity Scholarship as well from Washington State. But honestly, this program's so amazing. Like, taking the student loans, it's not even that big of a deal to the amount of money that you could make when you graduate and the opportunities that you're going to receive as well when you graduate. The student loans are just a small little bump in the road to me. So that I would tell myself, I would go back and tell myself the same thing, that don't even stress about that aspect.
Well, and one of the things too I would like to point out is what's so nice about our industry is with all of the employment, and a 2-year program really is not that long. And I think most students would say once the program starts, from the first day they walk in the door until we're shaking their hand on the graduation stage, that it feels like just a blur. Everything has happened so fast. And it's nice to see students graduate. We'll get a lot of students who thought maybe college wasn't an option for them, or how were they going to afford to go to a 4-year university? What were they going to do after that? And what we do is we take students in, we give you good job skills, we give you good job leads, and we're alongside you throughout the whole process. And at the end of the day, we help change lives. We send students out, some as young as 19, 20 years old, into the industry, earning a good salary, good benefits, with a good long career of safe employment, as far as we never have layoffs. We're kind of immune to what the economy's doing. We're always busy because companies are always automating. And so it's a spectacular field to get into. Now, is there any questions from the audience? And we would like to take those now. And if there aren't any questions, I will go ahead and show you kind of a little demonstration of something that we do here. So we'll go ahead and open this up for questions. Okay. And now what I'd like to do is give you some contact information. So if you're interested in our program, and we can get you down here to do a tour of it, or just talk to you on the phone, we want to do that. And so you can contact either myself or John Norman. So my name is George Hollwedel. The last name is Hollwedel. And my contact phone number is 509-842-6315. Like I tell my students, I'll tell you, if you want to get in touch with me at any time of the day, whether it's 7 in the morning or 9 o'clock at night, I'd love to hear from you and talk with you. And the same thing with John. And John's name is John Norman, and his contact phone number is 509-768-2593. And you can contact either one of us. If we cannot help you at that time, we'll direct you to the other instructor, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. We'll help you with the registration process. We'll tell you where you need to go, what you need to do. When you join our program or you're interested in our program, we're there with you from signing up for the classes until you graduate. And most of the time we'll keep in touch with our students. Our students will talk with us all the time. And when they graduate, we love having students come back, former students come back and talk to current students about what they're doing in industry. And we love to hear the success stories that they bring with them. So I want to say thank you to all the alumni. And I'd like to show you this demo. And so what we're going to do with this demo is one of the things we teach our students how to do is we teach them something called ladder logic, which is how to use electricity to control machines. And then we take it a step further. We teach them how to program a PLC, which is a programmable logic controller. So what we have behind me here, we have our PLC. We've designed or developed a program here. And so the computer's actually going to run this pneumatic system for us. And so what's going to end up happening is this first cylinder is going to come out, then the second one's going to come out, and then the third one's going to come out. And then they're going to retract that to run continuously until it stops. One of the neat things too, our students learn how to size all the cylinders, learn how to size the air valves, learn how to size the fluid lines, learn all about the connectors and the fittings that we use. They learn how to program on the computer this PLC. And this PLC is going to be provided start, and it gets we teach our students how to do this in any combination that we want to do. Our students here, they have a very deep knowledge of how to do this on the job. So a lot of the students, the current students we're talking about, they like a lot of hands-on. So what we like to do is teach theory in the classroom and then bring our students out to the shop and see how that theory works in real life. And so one of the neat things with this is if you like building things, if you like designing things, if you like touching things, we're the industry for you because you can do all of that. And one of the things too I'd like to point out is we give you a broad enough and deep enough education where if you want to repair things and work in a repair shop, you can do that. You want to wear a suit and tie and a dress, or you want to go out and be involved in sales, you can do that. If you want to work in engineering, you can do that. We have students, matter of fact, this year, one of our students graduated and moved over to Snohomish and works with Nathan, and she works in the engineering department. So we have enough depth and a wide enough industry where you can get your hands dirty or you can keep them clean. The choice is up to you. So I just want to say thank you very much for listening. And feel free to contact either myself or John with any questions you have at all. We're